Hello there, and welcome to Sleepy Animal Fact. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. You've chosen to spend this peaceful time learning about one of nature's most gentle creatures, the capybara. If these gentle journeys bring you peace, consider leaving a kind word, sharing this moment with another, or joining our growing flock of quiet dreamers. Comment your favorite animal below and we might include it in the next video. Get comfortable, let your shoulders drop, and allow yourself to simply rest as we explore these wonderful animals together. Capybaras are the largest living rodents in the world. Imagine, if you will, a creature that can weigh up to 140 pounds, about the size of a large dog. Yet it's a rodent. The capybara holds this magnificent title, the largest of all rodents on our planet. When you picture a rodent, you might think of something small, something that fits in your hand, but the capybara is different. They can grow up to 4 feet long and stand about 2 feet tall at the shoulder. Remarkable, truly remarkable. Let this image settle in your mind. A gentle giant among rodents, peaceful, calm, just like this moment you're experiencing now. Their scientific name is Hydrochaeris hydrochaeris. Let these syllables wash over you. Hydrochaeris, Hydrochaeris. The name comes from Greek, meaning water pig. Hydro, water. The ancient scientists who named them saw their connection to water and preserved it in this beautiful, flowing name. Say it slowly in your mind if you wish, or simply let it drift past. Like a gentle stream, Hydrochaeris hydrochaeris. You're doing wonderfully, simply by being here, by allowing yourself this time to rest, to learn, to let go. Your breathing is perfect just as it is. There's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do. You're exactly where you should be. Capybaras are native to South America. Picture the warm continent of South America, its vast grasslands, its winding rivers, its tropical warmth. This is home to the capybara. For thousands upon thousands of years, these gentle creatures have made South America their home. The grassy areas near water, the riverbanks, the wetlands, from the Amazon basin to the great Pantanal wetlands, to the Llanos grasslands of Venezuela, capybaras have roamed, living their peaceful lives, eating grass, swimming in warm waters, existing in harmony with their environment. South America, a continent of incredible diversity, is where every wild capybara in the world calls home. They live in every South American country except Chile. Let's take a peaceful journey across South America. In Brazil, capybaras rest by the water. In Argentina, they graze on grasses. In Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Ecuador, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. In all these places, the capybara lives. Only Chile, with its long coastline along the Pacific, separated by the towering Andes Mountains. Only Chile does not host wild capybaras. Imagine the range, the vast territory, nearly an entire continent, where these peaceful animals live their quiet lives. Such a successful animal, thriving across such diverse habitats, from tropical to subtropical regions. You're doing so well, letting your mind wander through these peaceful facts. Your body is relaxing more with each breath, each word. Feel how calm you're becoming, how easy it is to just listen and rest. There's no pressure to remember everything. Just let the words flow over you like gentle waves. You're safe, you're comfortable, you're at peace. Capybaras are related to guinea pigs and cavies. Isn't it wonderful how nature connects creatures? The small guinea pig you might hold in your hands and the giant capybara, weighing more than 100 pounds. They share a family tree. They're both in the family Cavidae, rodents with certain special characteristics. Short legs, barrel-shaped bodies, a gentle disposition. The guinea pig's quiet weak, and the capybara's soft clicking sounds, echoes of the same ancient ancestor. Evolution took them in different directions. One small, one large, but both gentle, both peaceful, both vegetarian. Family connections across sizes, across time, a reminder of how all life is interwoven, connected, whole. There are actually two species of capybara: the greater capybara, Hydrochaeris hydrochaeris, and the lesser capybara, Hydrochaeris isthmius. For a long time, many thought there was only one species of capybara, but nature holds surprises. The lesser capybara, smaller than its greater cousin, though still quite large, was recognized as its own species. Two types of the world's largest rodent, both similar, both aquatic, both peaceful. The greater capybara, the one most people picture, and the lesser capybara, smaller, more geographically limited, but equally wonderful. Two species, sharing the title of capybara, each unique, each perfectly adapted to their home. Let yourself sink deeper into relaxation now. You're absorbing these facts so effortlessly. Your mind is calm. Your body is heavy, comfortable. You don't need to try. You don't need to focus intensely. Just drift along with these gentle words. You're doing everything perfectly, simply by resting, by breathing, by being here in this moment. Lesser capybaras are found from eastern Panama into northwestern South America, while greater capybaras range across most of the rest of the continent. Imagine a map of South America in your mind, or perhaps just let the words paint a picture. The lesser capybara in the north, in Panama, the only Central American country with capybaras, and into Colombia and Venezuela in the northwest. A smaller range, a more focused territory, and the greater capybara, spreading across the vast majority of the continent, throughout Brazil, down into Argentina, across Paraguay. The Pantanal, the Amazon, the grasslands, two species, sharing a continent, each in their own space, rarely overlapping, each perfectly suited to their particular home. The lesser and the greater, both thriving, both peaceful, both living as they have for millennia. Capybaras are sometimes called water pigs in English and similar names in local languages because of their pig-like shape and love of water. When early explorers and settlers saw capybaras, they needed words to describe them. A pig, but not quite, and always near the water. In Portuguese, they're called capivara, which comes from indigenous words meaning grass eater. But the nickname water pig captured something essential: their rotund shape, their love of bathing and swimming. In the water, capybaras are at peace, cooling themselves, protecting themselves, socializing. The water is their sanctuary, their comfort, their joy. Water pigs, an endearing name for an endearing creature, perfectly at home, in the water, at rest, peaceful, calm. You've done beautiful work here. Learning about these 8 fascinating aspects of capybaras, your mind has wandered through South America, through scientific names, through species and habitats, and through it all, you've remained calm, peaceful, restful. You should feel proud of this time you've given yourself, this moment of learning and relaxation combined. Let's take a moment to remember what we've discovered. The capybara, largest rodent in the world, scientifically known as Hydrochirus hydrochirus, native to South America, living in nearly every country on that continent, related to guinea pigs, existing as 2 distinct species, the greater and the lesser, ranging from Panama to Argentina, known as water pigs for their shape and their love of water. These gentle giants, these peaceful creatures, now a little less mysterious to you as you drift and rest and let sleep come naturally whenever it's ready. Breathe deeply, let your eyes stay closed, and know that more peaceful facts await whenever you're ready. But for now, just rest. Let your body sink a little deeper into comfort, a little heavier, a little more relaxed. We continue our gentle journey into the world of the capybara. Semi-aquatic animals, that's what capybaras are. Not fully aquatic like a fish, not fully terrestrial like a rabbit, but something beautifully in between. They walk on land with their short, sturdy legs, grazing peacefully, but they're never far from water. The water calls to them. When danger approaches, They slip into the water, barely a ripple. When the day grows hot, they wade in, letting the cool water embrace them. Semi-aquatic, meaning they belong to two worlds, the land and the water, moving between them as naturally as you move between waking and sleeping, fluid, effortless, at home in both places. Their bodies are designed for this, eyes and ears positioned high on their heads, so they can float with just their senses above water. Watching, listening, peaceful. They spend much of their time near rivers, lakes, swamps, ponds, and marshes. Picture these places, tranquil settings, where water meets land, a slow-moving river, its surface reflecting the sky, a quiet lake, cattails swaying at its edges, a marsh rich with plant life, water weaving between grasses. These are the capybara's kingdoms. They don't venture far from water, perhaps 100 meters, perhaps 200, but always water is within reach. In the dry season, they might gather around shrinking water sources, waiting patiently for the rains to return. In the wet season, they spread out, exploring flooded grasslands, enjoying the abundance. Morning by the water, afternoon in the water, evening grazing near the water. Their entire lives oriented around these peaceful, life-giving places. Can you imagine it? A life lived always within sight of water, always with that option to slip in, to float, to cool yourself, to find peace in the gentle current. You're doing so well. Your breathing has found its own perfect rhythm, slow, steady, easy. There's no effort in this, no struggle. You're simply here, absorbing these peaceful images, these gentle facts. Your mind is quiet, or if thoughts arise, you watch them drift by like clouds, never holding on, always at ease. This is your time, your moment of complete rest, and you're honoring it beautifully. Capybaras are remarkably adaptable. They can adjust to flooded savannas, forest edges, and even human-modified landscapes like ranches and farmland, as long as water is available. This is part of their success, their ability to be flexible. A flooded savanna, grasslands transformed by seasonal rains into shallow lakes, perfect for capybaras. The edge of a forest, where trees meet grassland, where shade and sun mingle, they thrive there too. But here's something remarkable. They've learned to live alongside humans. On ranches, where cattle graze, capybaras graze too, peacefully coexisting. On farmland, near irrigation ditches, they've found a home. They don't need pristine wilderness, though they certainly appreciate it. They need grass, they need water, and they need to be left in relative peace. Given these things, they adapt, they adjust, they carry on their gentle lives, even as the world changes around them. Such resilience, such quiet strength, adapting without losing who they are. In some regions, this adaptation has become quite remarkable. Capybaras have learned to use ranching landscapes almost as well as wild ones. Artificial ponds, irrigation canals, stock tanks. To a capybara, water is water. Where ranchers have created ponds for cattle, capybaras gather. Where irrigation canals carry water through dry land, capybaras follow. They've learned that these human-made water sources function much like natural wetlands, and they use them accordingly. In some parts of Brazil, in Argentina, in Venezuela, you'll find capybaras living quite contentedly on ranchland, grazing the same grass as cattle, drinking from the same ponds. Sometimes this creates challenges, but often there's room for both. The capybara, ancient animal, learning new tricks, using new resources, surviving, thriving, continuing their lineage in a changing world. Such intelligence, such adaptability, achieved without anxiety, just quiet, persistent existence. Let your jaw relax. Unclench if you need to. Let your tongue rest softly in your mouth. Feel the weight of your head, completely supported. There's nothing you need to figure out, nothing you need to solve. You're simply drifting along on these words. These images of capybaras living their peaceful lives. Your body knows how to rest, how to restore. Trust it. You're exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do, which is nothing at all, just resting, just being. This adaptability has occasionally led to something unexpected. In a few non-native areas, far from South America, escaped or released capybaras have formed small feral populations. Perhaps they escaped from a zoo or a private collection. Perhaps someone released them intentionally, and these capybaras, finding themselves in a new land, did what they do best. They found water, they found grass, and they began to live. Small populations have appeared in places like Florida, where the climate is warm enough. And while it's remarkable, this ability to establish themselves so far from home, it raises questions. They're not part of these ecosystems naturally. What do they eat that local animals need? Do they compete? Do they change the balance? These are concerns that conservationists consider carefully. The capybara isn't trying to invade. It's simply trying to live, but in the delicate balance of ecosystems. Even gentle creatures can have unintended impacts. Still, in their native South America, they belong completely, woven into the fabric of their environment for millennia. Now let's consider what capybaras eat. They are herbivores, plant eaters, gentle vegetarians. No hunting for the capybara. No chase. No kill. Just peaceful grazing, day after day, year after year. Their diet is simple, grasses and aquatic plants, the abundant vegetation of their wetland homes. They have a digestive system designed for this, a large cecum where plant material ferments, breaking down tough cellulose. They eat, they rest, they eat again. Sometimes they even practice coprophagy, eating their own droppings to extract every bit of nutrition from the tough plant material they consume. It sounds strange to us, but it's perfectly natural, efficient, allowing them to thrive on a diet that would leave other animals hungry. Herbivores, living proof that strength doesn't require eating meat, that size doesn't demand predation. Just grass, just plants, just the green growing things of the earth. That's all they need. Your eyelids are so heavy now, or perhaps they've been closed this whole time. Either way, there's such peace in the darkness behind your eyes, such quiet. Your breathing is slow, deep, nourishing every cell of your body with exactly what it needs. You're learning, even as you rest, absorbing these facts like the earth absorbs rain, naturally, effortlessly. There's no test tomorrow, no quiz, just this gentle accumulation of knowledge, soft as snowfall, quiet as moonlight. Their diet includes grasses and aquatic plants. Let's paint this picture more vividly. Imagine a capybara at dawn, the mist still rising from the water. It walks to the water's edge and begins to eat. Grasses first, the tender shoots, using its large front teeth to clip them cleanly. It chews methodically, peacefully, no rush. Then, it might wade into the shallow water and begin eating aquatic plants. Water hyacinth, water lettuce, reeds, sedges. Plants that grow in the water, plants that float, plants that emerge from the mud. The capybara eats them all. Sometimes it dips its head underwater to reach choice vegetation. Sometimes it floats, munching on surface plants. An adult capybara can eat 6 to 8 pounds of grass a day. That's a lot of grazing, a lot of peaceful chewing, a full-time occupation. This business of being a capybara. Capybaras often graze on aquatic plants as well as grasses, and there's a beautiful rhythm to this. Morning grazing on land, afternoon rest and water plants, evening grazing on land again. They divide their time, their energy, between the terrestrial grasses and the aquatic vegetation. This dual grazing is part of what makes them semi-aquatic. They don't just use water for protection and cooling, they actually harvest food from it. When land grasses are dry or depleted, aquatic plants provide alternatives. When water plants are less abundant, land grasses sustain them. They're never dependent on just one food source. Always options, always alternatives. Such wisdom in their feeding patterns, such balance. They take what the land offers, they take what the water offers, and they thrive. Feel how relaxed your shoulders are now, how loose your arms. Your whole body is releasing tension you didn't even know you were holding, muscle by muscle, breath by breath, letting go. The world of the capybara is so peaceful, so simple. Eat, rest, swim, exist. Let that simplicity wash over you. Remind you that life doesn't have to be complicated. That peace is always available, like water, like grass, always there, waiting. There's even more sophistication to their grazing. Capybaras can adjust their feeding patterns to follow the growth of fresh grass after fires or floods. In the seasonal rhythms of South America, fires sometimes sweep across savannas. Cleared areas burst into new growth. Floods recede, leaving behind rich silt, and tender shoots emerge. Capybaras notice. They move to these areas, taking advantage of the fresh, soft, nutritious plant shoots. Young grass is easier to digest, higher in protein, and the capybaras know this, perhaps not consciously, but in the deep wisdom of their bodies. The knowledge passed down through countless generations. They follow the green, the fresh, the new growth. After the burning, after the flooding, when other animals might struggle, capybaras find opportunity. They're not just passive grazers. They're active, attentive, responsive to the changes in their environment, always seeking the best nutrition, the easiest eating. And in doing this, in eating the way they eat, capybaras perform a service. They can be found in wetland ecosystems where they help control plant growth. Imagine a wetland with no grazers. Plants would grow unchecked, some species dominating, others crowded out. Water channels might become choked with vegetation, but the capybara grazes, and in grazing, maintains balance. They eat the abundant plants, keep them in check, prevent any one species from taking over completely. They're like gentle gardeners, landscapers of the wetlands, trimming here, cropping there, maintaining diversity through their daily feeding. They don't do this intentionally. They're simply eating, surviving, but the effect is real. The wetlands they inhabit are shaped by their presence, their appetites, their preferences. Healthier, more diverse, more balanced, because the capybara is there, eating its simple diet, living its simple life. You're floating now, between waking and sleeping, between consciousness and dreams. This is the perfect place to be, this liminal space, where learning happens without effort, where peace deepens without trying. Your mind is so beautifully quiet, so receptive, like still water, reflecting everything, holding nothing, perfect. You're perfect exactly as you are in this moment. Scientists call capybaras ecosystem engineers. And what a wonderful title that is. Ecosystem engineers are species that physically modify their environment in ways that affect other species. And capybaras do this through their grazing patterns. They can open up dense vegetation, create space, let light reach the ground. Where plants grow thick and tangled, capybaras graze pathways. Where vegetation becomes a wall, capybaras make windows. And this creates opportunities for other species. Smaller animals can move through capybara-grazed areas more easily. Different plant species can establish themselves in the openings capybaras create. Birds might find better foraging where capybaras have trimmed vegetation. Engineers, but not with tools or blueprints, with teeth and appetite, with their daily movements through their world, reshaping it subtly, constantly, beneficially. There's more to their engineering. The tracks and trails capybaras create through wetlands, worn by countless feet over countless days, become small pathways that other animals use to reach water sources. Picture this: a wetland with thick mud, tangled plants, difficult terrain, but where capybaras walk regularly, a trail forms, firmer ground, clearer passage, and other animals discover this trail. A deer might use it, small rodents, birds walking rather than flying. The capybara's daily route to water, from resting area to feeding ground, becomes a shared highway. Inadvertent trail builders, creating infrastructure for their community, just by living, just by following their routines, day after day, the same paths, and slowly, the landscape remembers, holds the shape of their passage, and offers that gift to all who come after. Let this image settle in you. The capybara as a creator, not just a consumer. As you move through your life, you too create paths, leave marks, affect your environment in ways you may not even realize. And that's okay. That's beautiful. You don't have to engineer everything consciously. Sometimes just living, just being, just following your nature, that's enough, more than enough. Rest in that knowledge. Rest in this moment, breathing slowly, peacefully, deeply relaxed. Let's take a moment, soft and easy, to gather what we've learned. The capybara, semi-aquatic, living always near water, rivers, lakes, marshes, swamps, adaptable to many landscapes, even those altered by humans, thriving wherever water flows, sometimes appearing far from home, small populations in foreign lands, reminding us of their resilience. Herbivores, grass eaters, consumers of aquatic plants, following fresh growth after fires and floods, helping control plant growth in wetlands, engineering ecosystems with their grazing, creating trails that serve the whole community. The capybara emerges as more than just an animal, but as a participant, a shaper, an integral thread in the great tapestry of South American wetlands. Always gentle, always peaceful, yet always influential, always important. Rest now. Let these facts settle like sediment, like the rich earth at the bottom of a quiet pond. More awaits, But for now, just this, just breath, just peace. Breathe in and out. Your body is so relaxed now, so ready to receive more gentle knowledge. We turn our attention to the capybara's physical form, their size, their shape, the beautiful way they're built for their watery world. Adult capybaras can grow to about 106 to 134 centimeters long. Let's translate that into something easier to picture. That's roughly 3.5 to 4.5 feet, about the length of a medium-sized dog, perhaps a Labrador, stretched out and sleeping. Imagine encountering a capybara for the first time, expecting something small, something you could hold, and instead finding this substantial creature, this presence, this gentle giant of the rodent world, from nose to tail, or rather, where a tail would be, because capybaras have barely any tail at all, just a small vestigial bump. All that length is body, solid, barrel-shaped, designed for a life between water and land. 106 to 134 centimeters of peaceful herbivore, grazing, swimming, existing in perfect contentment. At the shoulder, where their neck meets their body, capybaras stand about 50 to 62 centimeters tall. That's roughly 20 to 24 inches, about knee-high to an average human. Not towering, not imposing, but substantial nonetheless. Picture yourself standing beside a capybara. It would come up to your knee, maybe slightly higher. You could reach down easily to touch its coarse fur, if it trusted you enough to allow it. This height is perfect for their lifestyle, tall enough to wade into deeper water while keeping their head above the surface, low enough to stay stable in currents, close enough to the ground to graze efficiently. 50 to 62 centimeters, the perfect height for a semi-aquatic grazer. Not too tall, not too small, just right, balanced, proportioned exactly as nature intended. You're absorbing this information so effortlessly, your mind open and receptive, like the capybara's wetland home absorbing rainfall. There's no strain in your body, no tension in your mind. You're simply here, present, at peace. Notice how easily you can visualize these gentle creatures, how naturally the facts settle into your awareness. You're doing this perfectly. There's no wrong way to rest, no wrong way to learn. Just continue breathing, slowly, steadily, letting each word carry you deeper into relaxation. Now consider their weight. Capybaras usually weigh between 35 and 66 kilograms, though some individuals can be even heavier. In pounds, that's roughly 77 to 145 pounds. The weight of a large dog or a small adult human. Imagine that weight distributed across that barrel-shaped body. Those short legs, they're not built for speed, you might think, and yet, we'll discover otherwise. This weight serves them well in water, giving them stability against currents, allowing them to sink partially and float with just eyes and nose exposed. On land, yes, they're heavy, solid, but they carry it with surprising grace. Males tend to be heavier, females slightly lighter on average, though there's variation. A well-fed capybara in ideal habitat might reach the higher end of the range. One in a harsher environment might be leaner. But all of them, every capybara, carries its weight with the same peaceful dignity, the same unhurried approach to life. Their body tells a story of adaptation, barrel-shaped, almost round when viewed from the front, with short legs beneath. But look closer. Notice that the hind legs are slightly longer than the front legs. This might seem like an odd design, but it's brilliant. Those longer back legs provide power for swimming, propulsion through water, each kick driving them forward efficiently. On land, those longer hind legs help them run, providing the thrust needed to move their substantial body quickly when necessary. They don't stand level like a table. They slope slightly downward from back to front, giving them a distinctive profile, a shape that's unmistakably capybara. This design, refined over millions of years, proves that form follows function, that every curve, every proportion, serves a purpose in their watery grassland home. Let your whole body sink deeper now, heavier, more relaxed. Like the capybara, you are perfectly designed, perfectly proportioned for your life. There's no need to be different than you are. No need to change this moment. Feel the support beneath you, holding your weight, just as the earth holds the capybara. You're safe, you're comfortable, you're exactly where you belong. Your breathing is so slow now, so peaceful, each breath like a gentle wave, rolling in, rolling out, easy, natural, perfect. Look down at a capybara's feet, and you'll notice something interesting. 4 toes on their front feet, but only 3 on their back feet. This asymmetry serves them beautifully. The front feet, with 4 toes, spread the weight when they walk on soft ground, provide stability. The back feet, with 3 toes, are more streamlined, more powerful for swimming, for pushing through water. Each toe ends in a short, strong nail, almost like a small hoof. These aren't the claws of a digger or the sharp talons of a climber. They're the nails of a walker, a swimmer, an animal that moves steadily across varied terrain. 4 toes, 3 toes. An unusual combination, but perfectly suited to their needs. They can walk on firm ground, traverse soft mud, move through shallow water, all with equal competence. Their feet take them where they need to go, whether that's to the best grazing, the deepest water, or the safest resting spot. And those toes, those useful toes, are partially webbed. Skin stretches between them, not as dramatically as a duck's feet, not fully webbed, but partially, enough to make a difference. In water, those webs provide extra surface area, extra push with each stroke, helping them glide smoothly through their aquatic world. Picture a capybara swimming, its partially webbed feet paddling rhythmically, efficiently propelling its heavy body through the water. The webbing also helps in mud, spreading their weight, preventing the toes from splaying too far apart. Partial webbing, not committing fully to water or land, but adapting to both, finding the middle way, the balanced path. How very capybara. This compromise, this practical solution, neither fully aquatic nor fully terrestrial, but beautifully both. Your mind is so quiet now, thoughts drifting by like leaves on a stream. You don't grab them, you don't follow them, you just watch them pass. This is meditation without effort, learning without strain, rest without restlessness. Feel proud of yourself for taking this time, for choosing peace, for allowing yourself to simply be. The capybara doesn't rush, doesn't worry, doesn't question its purpose. It simply exists, and that's enough. You too, in this moment, are enough, more than enough, exactly as you are. Those partially webbed feet serve yet another purpose. They prevent the capybara from sinking too deeply into marshy substrates. A marsh, with its mix of water and mud and plant material, can be treacherous, too solid to swim through, too soft to walk on easily. But the capybara, with its webbed feet, its distributed weight, moves through marshland with confidence. The webbing spreads the load, acts almost like a snowshoe, keeping them from sinking with each step. They can traverse terrain that would bog down other animals, can access food and water in places others can't reach. This gives them an advantage, a niche, a space in the ecosystem that's uniquely theirs. Walking on water, almost, or at least on very soft mud, with those specialized feet, those perfect adaptations, those gifts from countless generations of evolution. Despite their size and weight, despite their short legs and heavy bodies, capybaras can run surprisingly fast on land for a large rodent. When necessary, when threatened, they can move. Their top speed is estimated at around 35 kilometers per hour. That's roughly 22 miles per hour. Not cheetah fast, certainly, but faster than you'd expect from a 100-pound rodent. Picture it, a capybara alarmed, perhaps by a predator, suddenly accelerating, those short legs pumping, that heavy body somehow light and quick. They run toward safety, usually toward water, where they can dive in and disappear beneath the surface. They don't run far. They don't need to, just far enough to reach sanctuary. But the fact that they can run at all, can generate that speed, that momentum, speaks to their athleticism, their physical capability hidden beneath that placid exterior. Feel yourself drifting, floating, like a capybara in calm water. Your body is so heavy, so relaxed. You can barely feel where you end and the surface beneath you begins. Everything is soft. Everything is gentle. Everything is exactly as it should be. There's no urgency, no deadline, no pressure. Just this eternal now, this peaceful moment, stretching out like a quiet river, flowing slowly toward sleep, toward rest, toward dreams. And there's more to their physical abilities. Some sources describe capybaras as able to jump over 3 feet high. 3 feet, nearly a meter. That's remarkable for such a heavy animal with such short legs. Why would they jump? Perhaps to clear a log, to reach vegetation, to avoid an obstacle in their path, or perhaps simply because they can. Because sometimes, in the joy of being alive, animals leap. Imagine a capybara, usually so calm, so placid, suddenly springing upward, clearing 3 feet, landing with surprising grace. It's a reminder that we shouldn't underestimate them, shouldn't assume that bulk means clumsiness. They're athletes in their own way, swimmers, runners, jumpers, all wrapped in that peaceful, patient exterior, capable of more than they usually show, reserving their abilities for when they're truly needed, conserving energy, living efficiently, peacefully, but with hidden reserves of power and agility. Let's gather these physical facts gently, softly, as you continue to relax. The capybara, 106 to 134 centimeters long, 50 to 62 centimeters tall at the shoulder, weighing 35 to 66 kilograms or more, barrel-shaped, with short legs, hind legs longer for swimming and running, for toes in front, 3 behind, partially webbed to help in water and prevent sinking in mud. Surprisingly fast runners, capable jumpers, more athletic than they appear. Every aspect of their body, perfectly designed for their semi-aquatic life, for moving between worlds, for thriving in the spaces where water meets land. Rest now in this knowledge, in this appreciation for their form, their function, their physical grace. The capybara, revealed in detail, becomes more wonderful with each fact, each feature, each adaptation. Breathe, sink, drift, let go. Settle deeper now, deeper still. Your body knows the way, knows how to let go, how to release. We enter the water now, metaphorically, peacefully, to explore the capybara's aquatic mastery. Capybaras are excellent swimmers, not just adequate, not just capable, but excellent. Watch a capybara enter the water. There's no hesitation, no testing of temperature, no timid toe dipping. They wade in with confidence, with belonging, and then they glide. Their heavy bodies become weightless, buoyant, graceful in ways they never are on land. Those partially webbed feet paddle in steady rhythm, propelling them forward, backward, turning with ease. They can swim across rivers, traverse lakes, navigate through flooded forests. The water is their element, their refuge, their joy. Young capybaras play in water, chasing each other, diving, surfacing with what looks almost like laughter. Adults swim to find food, to escape danger, to regulate their temperature, to simply exist in the place they love most. Excellent swimmers, born to the water, at home in its embrace, moving through it like they're part of the current itself. And they can stay beneath the surface, holding their breath for up to 5 minutes. 5 minutes, count it in your mind if you wish. 1, 2, 3, keep counting. Imagine holding your breath that long. Beneath the water, the world is muffled, quiet, safe. When a predator approaches, a jaguar perhaps, or a caiman, the capybara can simply sink below the surface and wait. 5 minutes is an eternity when you're hunting, when you're waiting for prey to resurface. Most predators move on, lose interest, and the capybara waits below, heart rate slowed, oxygen conserved, patient, so patient. Then, when danger has passed, they rise, just the nostrils first, testing the air, checking, and finally emerging fully, safe, successful, having outwitted danger simply by being still, by holding breath, by trusting the water to hide them. You're doing so beautifully. Your own breath is so slow now, so measured, though not held, just naturally peaceful. Feel how your chest rises and falls, gentle waves, easy tides. You're learning about the capybara's patience, their calmness under pressure, and perhaps some of that tranquility is settling into you. You don't need to hold your breath. You don't need to hide. You're safe here, in this moment, perfectly safe, perfectly at peace. Let that knowledge wash over you, warm and comforting, like sunlit water. The capybara's head tells the story of aquatic adaptation. Their eyes, ears, and nostrils are all positioned high on their heads, almost in a line along the top. This isn't random, it's brilliant design. When a capybara floats, most of its body can be underwater, hidden, concealed, but those eyes still see, those ears still hear, that nose still breathes. Imagine the advantage, looking like just a small bump in the water, perhaps a log, perhaps a plant, while actually being fully alert, fully aware. Predators pass by, not recognizing the mostly submerged shape as prey. Other animals come to drink, unaware of the capybara's presence. Meanwhile, the capybara watches everything, misses nothing, safe in its watery hiding spot. Evolution has moved their sensory organs to the perfect position, the optimal height, allowing them to inhabit the boundary between air and water, to exist in both worlds simultaneously. Their ears have another trick, another adaptation. Capybaras can press their ears flat against their heads, sealing them, keeping water out when they dive or swim, like built-in earplugs, natural protection. When they're about to submerge, you might see them fold their ears back, flatten them, prepare. Then down they go, water flowing over their head, but not into their ear canals, not causing damage or discomfort. This keeps them healthy, prevents infections, allows them to dive repeatedly throughout their lives without harm. When they surface, the ears pop back up, resume their normal position, ready to catch every sound. Flat for diving, upright for listening, adjustable, practical, perfect. Such simple solutions, such elegant engineering, folding ears, solving problems without complexity, just working with what they have, adapting, surviving, thriving. Your own ears might notice sounds right now, the ambient noise around you, or perhaps just silence. Whatever you hear, it's okay. It doesn't disturb your peace. Like the capybara, you can be aware and relaxed simultaneously, alert and at rest. You don't have to shut out the world to find peace. You just have to sink below its surface, find that quiet place within, and you're there now. You've found it, this deep calm, this gentle awareness is your natural state, and you're resting in it beautifully. Even sleep doesn't take them fully from the water. Capybaras can sleep while partially submerged, keeping just their nose, eyes, and ears above the surface, staying alert for danger even while they rest. Imagine this, the ultimate peace, floating, barely conscious, the water supporting your weight, no effort required. But even in sleep, vigilant, those ears monitoring sounds, those eyes opening occasionally to scan, that nose breathing steadily, testing the air. They might sleep like this for hours, resting but never completely vulnerable, trusting the water to hold them, trusting their senses to warn them. It's a different kind of sleep than ours, lighter perhaps, but restorative nonetheless. They wake refreshed, ready to graze, to socialize, to live. Sleep in the water, safe in the water, always connected to the water. When danger is near, they can disappear even more completely, submerging fully, sinking down. Capybaras can stay hidden with only their nostrils exposed, making them nearly invisible to predators. Just two small openings, breaking the surface, looking like nothing at all. The rest of the capybara, completely underwater, motionless, invisible. A jaguar on the bank might look right at those nostrils, those tiny bumps in the water, and see nothing worth investigating. The capybara breathes, shallow, quiet, patient. Minutes pass, 5 minutes if necessary, and eventually the danger moves on. The predator leaves. The threat diminishes, and slowly, carefully, the capybara rises, reveals itself again, returns to normal life. Only their nostrils. That's all they need. That's all they show. Masters of concealment, artists of survival, peaceful even in moments of danger. Let yourself float now, in your mind, in your body's deep relaxation. You're almost sleeping. Perhaps you are sleeping. It's hard to tell anymore. The boundary is so soft, so gentle. Whether awake or asleep, you're at peace. You're safe. You're exactly where you need to be. The capybara's calmness is your calmness now. Their trust in the water, your trust in this moment, in this rest, in this perfect peaceful now. Their swimming is remarkably quiet. When capybaras move through water, they often glide almost silently, creating only small ripples, making it harder for predators to notice their movement from a distance. No splashing, no thrashing, just smooth, efficient propulsion. Those webbed feet paddle beneath the surface, invisible, while above, barely a disturbance. They move like thoughts, like dreams, like the edge of consciousness, there but barely, present but subtle. A predator scanning the water's surface sees little, hears less. The capybara passes through, a ghost, a whisper, reaching the other shore without fanfare, without detection. Silence is survival, quiet is safety, and they've mastered both. Near silent glides, ripples so small they might be wind, might be current, might be nothing at all. The capybara moves through its world without disturbing it, without announcing itself. Peaceful, private, perfectly adapted. Even their skin serves their aquatic life. Capybara skin produces a slightly oily secretion, a natural coating that helps their fur shed water quickly after they leave a river or pond. When they emerge, water streams off them. Their fur doesn't stay soaked and heavy. The oil repels moisture, encourages it to run off, to drip away. Within minutes of leaving the water, they're mostly dry, ready to graze, to rest on land, not weighed down by waterlogged fur. This secretion probably also protects their skin, keeps it supple despite constant wetting and drying, prevents the cracking and damage that might otherwise occur. They produce exactly what they need, their bodies creating solutions, natural oils for a semi-aquatic life. No need for towels, for drying off, for outside help. Just their own secretions, their own chemistry, taking care of everything, allowing them to move seamlessly between their two worlds, wet and dry, water and land, always comfortable, always adapted, always home. Feel your own skin now, the comfortable boundary between you and the world. Notice how it doesn't require your attention, doesn't need your management. It simply does what it needs to do, protecting you, sensing for you, being the interface with your environment. Like the capybara's secretions, your body has countless processes that simply work without your conscious effort. Trust this. Trust your body's wisdom, its knowledge, its ability to care for itself while you rest, while you drift, while you let go completely. Let's gather these aquatic truths gently now. The capybara, excellent swimmer, able to hold breath for 5 minutes underwater. Eyes, ears, and nostrils positioned high, allowing them to float mostly submerged yet fully aware. Ears that fold flat to keep water out. The ability to sleep partially underwater, to hide with only nostrils showing. Swimming in near silence, creating barely a ripple. Skin that produces oils to shed water, keeping them comfortable moving between elements. Every adaptation speaks to their bond with water, their mastery of the aquatic realm. The capybara, equally at home on land and in rivers, truly semi-aquatic, truly specialized, truly remarkable. Breathe slowly, sink deeper. Let the water hold you, metaphorically, peacefully. Let yourself float, drift, dissolve into rest. Your body is so deeply relaxed now, so comfortable, so at ease. Let's continue our gentle exploration, turning now to the capybara's relationship with temperature, with digestion, with the daily rhythms of surviva. Consider the capybara's fur, coarse and sparse, not the thick, luxurious coat of a mammal built for cold. Run your hand over a capybara, and you'd feel the individual hairs, stiff, bristly, with skin visible between them. This fur dries quickly, shedding water as they emerge from their rivers and ponds, which serves them well. But it provides almost no insulation, no warmth when temperatures drop, no protection from cold. This is one reason, one of many, that capybaras stay close to warm climates and water. They need the tropical and subtropical zones of South America, where temperatures rarely drop to uncomfortable levels. And they need water, not just to swim in, not just to hide in, but to regulate their body temperature. The water cools them when they're hot, and in cooler weather, the water, warmed by the sun, can actually be warmer than the air. Their sparse fur is perfectly adequate for a warm climate, semi-aquatic life, but it limits them, keeps them bound to certain regions, certain conditions. They've traded insulation for quick drying, traded cold tolerance for aquatic excellence, and in their native range, it's a trade that serves them beautiful. Why? When resting on land, when the sun beats down, capybaras have a simple solution. They lie in mud or shallow water, allowing the moisture to cool them, to help regulate their body temperature and avoid overheating. Picture a group of capybaras, midday, the sun at its peak. They're not out in the open grassland. They're at the water's edge, lying in the shallows, or wallowing in soft mud. The mud coats their skin, and as it slowly dries, it draws heat away through evaporation. The shallow water conducts heat from their bodies, keeps them from overheating. They might lie there for hours, perfectly content, perfectly cool, not sleeping exactly, but resting, conserving energy during the hottest part of the day. When evening comes, when temperatures moderate, they'll rise, shake off the mud, and resume grazing. But during the heat, the mud and water are their refuge, their cooling system, their comfort. See, you're resting so well, so deeply. Notice how your own body regulates temperature without your conscious thought, how you've perhaps adjusted blankets in your sleep, how you naturally find comfortable temperature without trying. Your body knows, just like the capybara's body knows, what it needs for comfort. Trust that wisdom, that ancient knowledge coded in your cells. You're safe, you're comfortable, you're exactly the right temperature, and you can sink even deeper into rest, even further into peace. They can fine-tune this temperature regulation, adjusting how much of their body is exposed to sun or shade by shifting position in shallow water. An inch deeper, and more of them is cooled by water. An inch shallower, and more of them is warmed by sun. Head in shade, body in sun. Front half in water, back half in air. They make micro-adjustments throughout the day, responding to slight changes in temperature, in cloud cover, in breeze, all without moving far, without expending much energy. Just a shift here, a repositioning there, and they've optimized their comfort. Such efficient thermoregulation, such economy of movement. They don't run to shade, don't search for shelter. They simply adjust within the space they already occupy, finding the perfect balance between water and air, sun and shade, hot and cool. Masters of small movements, of subtle changes, of finding comfort in the simplest adjustment. This thermoregulation often becomes a social activity. Capybara groups have regular basking spots, preferred locations where many individuals lie in the sun together after feeding. After a morning of grazing, bellies full, the group moves to their basking spot. Perhaps it's a particular stretch of beach, a sandy bank, a mud flat, and there, together, they lie, side by side, sometimes touching, sometimes slightly apart. The sun warms them, aids digestion, feels pleasant on their backs. And something else happens here, something beyond temperature regulation. These shared basking sessions strengthen social bonds. The group is together, relaxed, peaceful. This is when grooming might occur, when social hierarchies are gently reinforced, when youngsters learn their place in the group. Basking together, they're not just warming their bodies, they're maintaining their social fabric, their connections, their sense of being part of something larger than themselves. The sun feels good, but the togetherness, the presence of their family group, that feels good too. Feel how good it is to rest, to take this time for yourself. There's no guilt in rest, no shame in stopping. The capybaras know this. They build basking into their daily routine. They prioritize rest and connection and simple comfort. You're doing the same now, and it's beautiful. Your breathing is so peaceful. Your body so still. You're honoring your need for rest, for peace, for this quiet time. That's not lazy. That's wise. That's not wasted time. That's essential time. Let yourself feel good about this choice, this moment, this deep restorative rest. Now let's consider the capybara's teeth. Remarkable in their own way, they grow continuously throughout the capybara's life, not growing just to adult size and stopping, but growing and growing and growing millimeter by millimeter year after year. Their incisors, those large front teeth, are always extending, always lengthening. This is common in rodents, in animals that gnaw and chew tough materials, but it creates a necessity, a requirement. Those teeth must be worn down, must be kept at a manageable length, or they'd grow too long, curve uncomfortably, prevent proper eating. So the capybara's life of constant grazing, their endless consumption of grass, serves multiple purposes. Yes, they need the nutrition, the calories, the sustenance, but they also need the grinding, the wearing, the mechanical reduction of their ever-growing teeth. Each bite of grass, each chew, files down their teeth slightly, keeps them in check, maintains them at the perfect length. They need to graze regularly to wear down those growing teeth. It's not optional, not a choice, but a biological imperative. Graze or suffer overgrown teeth. Chew or lose the ability to eat. So they graze for hours each day, methodically working through grass and aquatic plants, and with each bite, each grinding motion, they're maintaining their most important tools. Their teeth, sharp-edged from constant use, perfect for clipping grass, cutting through stems, are kept at ideal length through the very act of feeding. It's a beautiful closed loop. Eating maintains the ability to eat. Feeding preserves the capacity to feed. No dentist needed. No intervention required. Just the natural consequences of their natural behavior. Graze and thrive. It's simple, elegant, perfectly balanced. Capybaras have another unusual digestive behavior. They sometimes eat their own feces, practicing what scientists call coprophagy, to digest nutrients a second time. This might sound unpleasant to us, but it's actually quite ingenious. Plant material is difficult to digest, tough fibers, locked up nutrients. The first pass through the digestive system breaks it down partially, ferments it, begins extraction, but much nutrition remains. So capybaras, like rabbits and some other herbivores, produce special soft droppings, cecotropes, rich in nutrients and beneficial bacteria, and they eat them. This gives their body a second chance at those nutrients, a second opportunity to absorb what the first digestion unlocked but didn't fully capture. More protein, more vitamins, more energy, all from material that would otherwise be wasted. It's efficient, practical, and perfectly natural for the capybara. No waste, everything used, everything valued. Nature's recycling program, built right into their behavior. You're floating in such deep relaxation now, drifting between awareness and sleep, between conscious and unconscious. This is perfect, this liminal space, this soft boundary. Your mind is absorbing these facts without effort, without strain, like the capybara absorbing nutrients, naturally, efficiently. You don't have to work at this, don't have to try to remember. Just let the information settle. Let it find its place. You're doing this beautifully, so beautifully, just by being here, just by listening, just by resting in this peaceful state. Inside the capybara, hidden from view, is a special digestive structure called a cecum. This is a pouch, an enlarged section of the intestine, where bacteria live and work. These bacteria are the capybara's partners. They're allies in digestion. When tough plant fibers reach the cecum, the bacteria ferment them, breaking down cellulose that the capybara's own enzymes cannot digest. This fermentation releases nutrients, makes energy available, turns indigestible material into fuel. The cecum is like a fermentation chamber, a bioreactor, constantly processing the grass and plants the capybara consumes. Without it, without those bacteria, the capybara couldn't extract enough nutrition from its diet. It would starve on a full stomach. But with the cecum, with that bacterial partnership, grasses become sufficient, abundant, perfect. The capybara provides the bacteria with food and habitat, and the bacteria provide the capybara with digestive capability. Symbiosis, cooperation, mutual benefit, happening constantly, automatically, in the quiet darkness of the capybara's gut. Their overall digestive system is surprisingly simple in some ways. The stomach is relatively straightforward, not multi-chambered like a cow's, not complex like a ruminant's. Capybaras don't chew cud, don't have multiple stomach compartments for different stages of fermentation. Instead, they rely heavily on hindgut fermentation, digestion that happens in the intestines, particularly in that cecum, rather than in the stomach. The stomach does its work, acid and enzymes beginning the breakdown, but the real magic happens downstream, in the intestines, in the cecum, where bacteria work their alchemy, turning grass into energy, fiber into fuel. This system works well for them, allows relatively quick passage of food through the stomach, making room for the next meal, the next grazing session. Continuous eating, continuous digestion, continuous extraction of nutrients. Simple but effective. Not fancy but sufficient. The capybara way. Let your own digestion work peacefully, without your attention. Your body knows how to process, how to extract what you need, how to maintain you while you rest. You don't have to think about it, don't have to manage it, just like all the other automatic processes happening right now. Your heart beating, your cells regenerating, your body healing and restoring. It all happens without effort, without consciousness. You can trust it, trust yourself, trust this deep rest to be exactly what you need. And there's one more digestive fact, one that connects the capybara to their ecosystem in an unexpected way. Capybaras often defecate in or very close to water. This isn't random, it's typical, habitual. They feel safe at the water's edge, comfortable, and that's where they leave their droppings. And those droppings, filled with partially digested plant material, contain seeds. Seeds from the grasses they ate, from the aquatic plants, from the fruits that occasionally supplement their diet. When they defecate near water, those droppings eventually break apart, washed by rain, by waves, by rising water levels, and the seeds disperse, travel along shorelines, settle in new locations, sprout. The capybara, without intending to, without knowing, becomes a seed disperser, a gardener of the waterways. Their digestive system doesn't destroy all the seeds they consume. Some pass through viable, ready to grow, and their defecation habits place those seeds in ideal locations, near water, in rich soil, where many plants thrive. They shape their landscape, not just by grazing, but by this daily act, this unconscious planting, this gentle redistribution of life. Let's gather these truths softly now, gently. The capybara, with sparse fur requiring warm climates, regulating temperature through mud and water, fine-tuning comfort with small position shifts, basking together in groups, strengthening bonds through shared rest, teeth growing continuously, worn down by constant grazing, practicing coprophagy, using a cecum for fermentation, relying on hindgut digestion, defecating near water, dispersing seeds, participating in the cycle of growth and renewal. Every fact reveals more complexity, more adaptation, more integration with their environment. The capybara, simple on the surface, remarkably sophisticated beneath. Rest now, deeply, peacefully. Let these truths settle like sediment, like seeds along a shoreline, waiting to grow into understanding. Breathe, release, drift awa. Breathe slowly, in and out. Your body is so heavy now, so completely relaxed. We turn to something beautiful, the capybara's social world, their connections, their togetherness. Capybaras are very social animals. They are not solitary, not loners, not creatures who prefer isolation. The capybara needs others, thrives with others, finds safety and comfort and joy in the presence of their own kind. A lone capybara is an exception, perhaps separated temporarily, perhaps a young male dispersing to find a new group, but always seeking to rejoin others. The capybara's natural state is togetherness. They sleep near each other, graze near each other, swim together, bask together. Their lives are woven into the lives of their group members, interconnected, interdependent. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Together, they are safer. Together, they are stronger. Together, they are more alert to danger, more successful at survival. The capybara understands what humans sometimes forget. That connection is not just pleasant, it's essential. That belonging is not just emotional, it's survival. They are highly social, living in stable family groups, and this social nature defines them as much as their size, their swimming, their love of WAT. In typical conditions, capybaras often live in groups of about 10 to 20 individuals. Picture this: a family, extended and multi-generational. Several adult females, perhaps sisters or mothers and daughters. One dominant male, the group's leader. Subordinate males, younger or less assertive. And young ones, from tiny babies to adolescents. 10 to 20 capybaras, moving through their territory together, not always in a tight cluster, sometimes spread out while grazing, but always aware of each other, always in proximity. They know each member of their group, recognize individuals, understand the social hierarchy, the relationships, the bonds. This is their world. These 10 or 20, their security, their society, their family. The group size is large enough to provide safety through numbers, multiple eyes watching for predators, but small enough to maintain cohesion, to know each member, to function as a unit. You're doing so wonderfully, sinking deeper with each fact, each breath. Like the capybara in its group, you are safe. You are held, not physically perhaps, but by this moment, by this peaceful space you've created. There's such comfort in that, such ease. You don't have to be alert, don't have to watch for danger. You can simply rest, simply be. Your body is so relaxed now, your mind so quiet, perfect. You're doing this perfectly. But these group sizes can change dramatically. During the dry season, when water sources shrink, when pools dry up and rivers narrow, group sizes can grow much larger. sometimes reaching 50 to 100 animals. Imagine this gathering, multiple family groups coming together, converging on the remaining water. What was once many groups of 10 or 20 becomes one massive congregation. 50 capybaras, 100 capybaras, all in proximity, all sharing the limited water, the limited grazing near that water. It's crowded, but not chaotic. The social structure flexes, accommodates. Hierarchies might overlap, merge temporarily. There might be more competition, more jostling for position. But there's also increased safety, more vigilance, a truly impressive number of eyes watching for predators. When the rains return, when water spreads across the landscape again, these megagroups will disperse, separate back into smaller family units, spreading out across renewed wetlands. But for a time, during the harshest season, they gather, strength in numbers, survival through togetherness, enduring the dry season as a community. Within these groups, whether small or large, structure exists. A dominant male usually leads the group, not through force, not through constant aggression, but through established hierarchy. He's usually the largest male, the strongest, the one who has proven himself. He has breeding rights, priority access to the best resting spots, a position of status. But he also has responsibilities. He watches for danger. He defends the group's territory from rival males. He maintains order. Other males in the group, subordinate males, accept his dominance, at least for now. Young males might challenge eventually, might attempt to rise in rank or leave to find their own group. But for today, for this season, the dominant male leads, and the group follows. The females form their own hierarchy too, less obvious perhaps, but present nonetheless. And everyone knows their place, their role, their position in the intricate social web. Feel yourself letting go even more, releasing any need to lead, to manage, to control. In rest, there's no hierarchy, no dominance, just peace, just the quiet darkness behind your eyelids, the gentle rise and fall of your breath, the complete relaxation of your body. You're safe in this surrender, this letting go. The capybaras know when to assert and when to accept, when to lead and when to follow. Right now, you're following the path into deeper rest, deeper peace, and that's exactly right. Grooming is central to capybara social life. They engage in extensive mutual grooming, carefully, patiently, tenderly. One capybara approaches another, begins nibbling gently at their fur, their neck, their head, removing parasites, ticks, debris. The recipient sits calmly, accepting this care, perhaps closing their eyes in contentment. Then they might switch, the groomer becoming the groomed, Minutes pass, 10, 15, 20. In this intimate exchange, the practical benefits are clear: parasites removed, skin cleaned, health maintained. But something deeper happens too. This grooming reinforces social bonds within the group. It says, you are one of us, you are valued, you are cared for. It reduces tension, builds trust, maintains the social fabric that holds the group together. Mother grooms young, siblings groom each other, friends, if we can call them that, spend long periods in mutual grooming. It's touch, connection, attention, all the things that bind social creatures together. The capybara's version of conversation, of quality time, of expressing care without words. They maintain remarkably complex social networks, relationships that go beyond simple dominance hierarchies. Physical closeness is crucial, sitting pressed together, touching, an important part of group cohesion. Watch a group of resting capybaras, and you'll see them clustered, not each in their own space, but touching, flanks pressed against flanks, heads resting on backs, bodies overlapping. This isn't just about warmth, though that might be a factor. It's about connection, about reinforcing bonds through proximity, through touch. They choose to rest this way, seeking contact, preferring closeness. Young capybaras pile together in heaps of fuzzy contentment. Adults maintain contact even when space is abundant. It's as if touch reassures them. We are together. We are a group. We are safe. These networks of connection, who grooms whom, who rests beside whom, who follows whom to water, create a complex social map that every group member understands. They know who their allies are, their relatives, their friends, and they maintain those connections through constant, gentle, physical proximity. Let yourself feel supported now by whatever surface holds you, by the air around you, by this moment itself. You are held, you are safe, you are exactly where you belong. The capybara's need for touch, for connection, is a reminder that we all need support, all need to feel held. And in this moment, you are completely, perfectly. Let that knowledge settle into your bones, your muscles, your very cells, supported, safe, able to rest completely. Even in rest, even in sleep, the group functions as a unit. When resting in groups, some individuals stay more alert, heads raised, ears turning, eyes scanning. Others sleep more deeply, heads down, fully relaxed. They're effectively sharing lookout duties, taking turns, though not through conscious agreement. Some individuals might be more naturally vigilant. Some might have slept deeply earlier and are now rested. Some might simply be in a lighter phase of their sleep cycle. Whatever the reason, at any given moment, Some are watching while others rest. This means the group is never completely vulnerable, never entirely asleep. There are always eyes watching, always ears listening. A predator approaching will be spotted by someone, and that someone will alert the group. Perhaps a bark of alarm, a sudden movement, and instantly, everyone is awake. Everyone is alert. But most of the time, the watchers watch nothing more threatening than birds, clouds, the peaceful movements of their own group members, and the sleepers sleep, trusting in the watchers, trusting in the system, able to rest deeply because they are not alone. The group as organism, as collective, protecting itself through shared vigilance, shared rest, shared life. Let's gather these social truths gently. The capybara, profoundly social, living in groups of 10 to 20, sometimes swelling to 50 or 100 during dry seasons. Stable family groups, led by a dominant male, bound together through extensive mutual grooming. Complex social networks maintained through physical closeness, touch, proximity. Even in rest, sharing lookout duties, some alert while others sleep deeply, protecting each other through collective vigilance. The capybara is never truly alone, never meant to be. They find strength in each other, safety in numbers, comfort in connection. Their social bonds are not luxury. They are necessity. They are life itself. Rest now in this knowledge, in this celebration of connection. You too are part of systems, part of networks, never truly alone, even when resting, even when sleeping, even now. Breathe, sink, trust, let go. Settle even deeper now, if that's possible. And it always is. There's no bottom to this restfulness, no limit to this peace. We turn now to new life, to beginnings, to the youngest capybaras and their gentle entry into the world. Baby capybaras are called pups, not calves, not kits, but pups. The same word we use for baby dogs, for baby seals, for various beloved young animals. Capybara pups. Say it softly in your mind. Let the gentleness of the word settle over you. Pups. When you hear this word, you might picture something small, helpless, adorable. And capybara pups are certainly adorable, with their oversized heads, their bright eyes, their miniature versions of adult features. But helpless, as we'll discover, they are not. From their very first moments, capybara pups are remarkably capable, surprisingly developed, ready for the world in ways that might astonish us. But still, they're pups, still young, still learning, still needing their mother, their group, their family. Pups, precious new additions to the capybara community, carrying the future of their species in their small, capable bodies. The journey to becoming a pup begins long before birth. A female capybara is pregnant for about 120 days. For months, a third of a year, carrying her developing young. 120 days of her body changing, expanding, preparing. During this time, she continues her normal life, grazing, swimming, resting with her group. The pregnancy doesn't stop her, doesn't confine her. She's mobile, active, participating fully in group activities almost until the moment of birth. Inside her, the pups develop, 1 to 8 of them typically, though 4 to 5 is most common. Tiny at first, then gradually growing, their organs forming, their legs developing, their teeth beginning to emerge even before birth. 120 days, and in that time, everything must be ready. Everything must be perfectly formed, because capybara pups enter the world already capable, already prepared for life. You're doing beautifully, absorbing these facts about new life while you rest so deeply yourself. There's something peaceful about learning, about the gentle accumulation of knowledge, like watching a pregnancy progress, slow, natural, unforced. You don't have to rush this, don't have to hurry towards sleep. It will come, like birth, in its own perfect timing. For now, just drift, just float in this peaceful state, this perfect moment of rest and learning combined. You're exactly where you need to be. And then, birth. Capybara pups are born with teeth and can move around soon after birth. Imagine being born, and within minutes, within an hour, being able to walk, to follow your mother, to navigate the world on your own legs. The pups emerge, usually on land in a sheltered spot, wet and small but astonishingly capable. Their eyes are open, their legs, wobbly at first, quickly strengthen, and those teeth, already present, ready to begin nibbling grass within days. Some pups are standing within hours. Within a day or two, they're walking confidently, following the group to water, to grazing areas. They can swim almost immediately, their instincts and physical capabilities combining to make them functional from the very start. Born ready, born capable, born with the tools they need to survive. It's remarkable, this readiness, this immediate competence. They're not like human babies, helpless for months, for years. They're capybaras, and capybaras are born prepared. This early capability has a name. Young capybaras are precocial, meaning they are born fairly well developed. Precocial, as opposed to altricial, which describes animals born helpless, naked, blind. Capybara pups are the opposite. Furred, sighted, mobile. Precocial development makes sense for a prey animal, for a species that lives in open habitats where danger can approach from multiple directions. A helpless infant would be an easy target, a vulnerability the group cannot afford. But a precocial pup, able to run, to swim, to hide, has a fighting chance. Within days of birth, pups can dive underwater, holding their breath for short periods, escaping danger the same way adults do. They stay close to their mother, close to the group, but they're capable of keeping up, of fleeing, of surviving. Evolution has gifted them this early development, this head start, and it serves them wonderfully. Feel how wonderful you're doing, how deeply you've sunk into this restful state. Your body is so relaxed, so at ease, like a capybara pup trusting completely in its mother, in its group, in the safety of the moment. You can trust this rest, trust this process, trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. There's no danger here, no threat, just peace, just learning, just the gentle drift towards sleep. Your breathing is so slow, so steady, so perfect. You're doing everything right, simply by being here, simply by resting. In the capybara group, caring for young is often a communal effort. In some groups, females share nursing duties for the pups. A mother will nurse not only her own offspring, but also the pups of other females in the group. This is called alloparenting, communal care, shared responsibility for the next generation. Why would a mother nurse someone else's pups? Because in a social group, often the females are related, sisters, mothers and daughters. Those pups carry shared genes, shared family. By helping raise them, each female increases the chances of her genetic line continuing. But beyond genetics, beyond biology, there's something beautiful here. A community caring for all its young, not just mine and yours, but ours. A pup can approach any lactating female and may be allowed to nurse. If one mother dies, or is injured, or cannot produce enough milk, her pups still have a chance. The group buffers against individual tragedy, creates resilience through sharing, through generosity, through collective mothering. The pups benefit from multiple caregivers, multiple protectors, multiple teachers. They grow up understanding that they belong not just to one mother, but to the entire group. Communication begins early. Young capybaras frequently use soft chirps and whistles to keep in contact with their mother and other group members when exploring. Listen, in your imagination, to these sounds. Soft, high-pitched, gentle. A pup wanders a few feet away, investigating a plant, exploring the world with that fearless curiosity of the young. And it chirps, "I'm here. I'm okay. Where are you?" The mother or another adult might chirp back, "I'm here. You're safe. I hear you." These vocalizations maintain connection even when visual contact is broken. Even in tall grass, even in complex wetland vegetation. The pup learns that it's not alone, that calling brings response, that the group is always there. As they grow, these chirps and whistles continue, becoming part of the complex vocal repertoire that capybaras use throughout their lives. But they start here, in puppyhood, as simple statements of presence, of connection, of belonging. I am here. We are here. We are together. Listen to your own breath now, its soft whisper, its gentle rhythm. This too is communication, your body speaking to itself, reassuring itself that all is well. Breath in, breath out, like the pup's chirps, like the mother's response, a conversation of safety, of presence, of life continuing moment by moment. You're so peaceful now, so deeply relaxed. Your mind has quieted to almost nothing, just this gentle flow of words, this soft cascade of facts, carrying you deeper, always deeper, into rest. Learning begins immediately for capybara pups. They learn what is safe to eat partly by copying which plants adults choose, which speeds up their ability to forage effectively in complex wetlands. A wetland offers hundreds of plant species, some nutritious, some less so, some potentially harmful. How does a pup learn what to eat? It watches. It follows its mother as she grazes, observes what she chooses, what she rejects. When she eats a particular grass, the pup tries it too. When she passes by a certain plant, the pup learns to pass by as well. This observational learning is faster, safer, more reliable than trial and error. No need for the pup to taste every plant, to get sick, to learn through suffering. Instead, the accumulated wisdom of generations flows through demonstration, through imitation, through watching and copying. Within weeks, the pup knows the good grasses, the preferred aquatic plants, the seasonal treats. It can forage independently, effectively, making choices that will sustain it for life, all because it watched, learned, trusted the knowledge of those who came before. Cultural transmission in capybaras, as real and important as in any species, including our own. Let's gather these tender facts about young life. Baby capybaras, called pups, born after 120 days of pregnancy, entering the world with teeth, able to move soon after birth, precocial, well-developed from the start. In some groups, females share nursing duties, communal care for all pups. The young use soft chirps and whistles to stay connected, to maintain contact while exploring. And they learn what to eat by watching adults, copying choices, inheriting wisdom through observation. From their first moments, capybara pups are capable, connected, and learning. They're born into a community that cares for them, teaches them, keeps them safe. And within that safety, that support, they grow into the next generation of these gentle, social, remarkable animals. Rest now with these images of young life, new beginnings, the continuation of something ancient and beautiful. Like the pups, you are supported, you are held, you are exactly where you need to be. Breathe, trust, drift, let go completely. Sink deeper still, your body so heavy, so completely at rest. Let's explore now the capybara's language, their ways of speaking without words, their scents, their sounds, their territorial lives. Capybaras possess a surprisingly rich vocal repertoire. They can communicate with a wide range of sounds: barks, purrs, whistles, squeals, grunts, and teeth chattering. Each sound carries meaning, conveys information, expresses something essential. A bark might signal danger. A purr might express contentment. A whistle might be a greeting, or a question, or a call to come closer. Squeals often come from young ones, excited or perhaps complaining. Grunts accompany various activities, social interactions, movements through the group, and teeth chattering, that distinctive clicking sound, serves its own special purpose. Together, these sounds create a complex communication system, a language without grammar but rich in meaning. The capybara is not silent, not voiceless, but rather quite talkative in its own way, expressing its inner states, its needs, its responses to the world through this varied symphony of sounds. That teeth chattering, so distinctive, so unusual, means something specific in relaxed situations. Keepers and researchers interpret it as a sign of contentment, of calm social interaction. Picture two capybaras resting close together, perhaps engaged in mutual grooming. One begins to chatter its teeth, a rapid clicking, almost like a soft rattle. The other responds in kind. Click, 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 back and forth. This dental conversation seems to say, I am peaceful, I am content, I enjoy your company, not a threat, despite the involvement of teeth, not aggression, but rather its opposite, affiliation, comfort, social bonding through this strange, gentle, clicking sound. When you hear capybaras chattering their teeth at each other, you're witnessing friendship, witnessing peace, witnessing the quiet contentment of social animals in harmony. You're doing so wonderfully, sinking so deeply into this peaceful state. Your own teeth are unclenched, your jaw relaxed, loose, comfortable, like the capybaras expressing contentment. Your body is expressing its own deep rest, its own complete relaxation. Every muscle soft, every joint loose, every part of you at ease. There's such beauty in this, such perfect peace. You don't need to do anything. Don't need to be anything other than exactly what you are right now. Resting, learning, drifting in this gentle space between waking and sleep. Capybaras also produce short, pulsed vocalizations, Contact calls that help group members keep track of each other in tall grass or murky water. Imagine the wetland vegetation growing higher than a capybara's head, or water clouded with sediment, visibility limited. The group is spread out, grazing, foraging. How do they stay connected? They call. Brief chirps, short whistles, pulse sounds that say, "I'm here." Others respond, creating a map of sound, a sonic picture of where everyone is. No one gets too far from the group. No one becomes lost. These contact calls function like a gentle roll call, ongoing, constant, barely conscious perhaps, but essential. In human terms, it's like calling out to a friend in another room, just checking, just maintaining that thread of connection. For capybaras, these calls prevent separation, maintain cohesion, ensure that the safety of numbers is preserved even when visibility fails. Simple sounds, simple purpose, profound effect. When real danger approaches, the communication changes. When threatened, capybaras may bark as an alarm call. This bark is sharp, loud, urgent, different from all their other vocalizations. Cuts through the ambient sounds of the wetland, demands attention. One capybara spots a jaguar, a caiman, something dangerous. It barks. Immediately, every capybara in earshot responds. Heads raise, bodies tense. They look toward the alarm caller, assess the threat, and then they act, usually fleeing toward water, diving in, submerging. The bark has saved them, given them precious seconds, transformed them from relaxed grazers to escaped prey. Not every alarm results in actual danger. Sometimes it's a false alarm, but better to flee unnecessarily than to fail to flee when needed. The alarm bark is their emergency broadcast system, their fire alarm, their most important vocalization, and they respond to it instantly, instinctively, trusting the caller, trusting the system that keeps them alive. Feel how safe you are. No alarms here. No dangers. No threats. Just this peaceful space. This gentle learning. This deep rest. Your nervous system can completely relax, can turn off all vigilance, all watching, all guarding. You're protected by these walls. This moment, this choice to rest, like a capybara in deep water, hidden, safe. You can let everything go. Your breathing is so slow, so steady, so peaceful, perfect. You're doing this perfectly. Just continue sinking, continue releasing, continue trusting this beautiful rest. Capybaras communicate not only with sound but with scent. Both males and females use scent marking to help define territory. Their world is mapped not just visually, but olfactorily, marked with chemical signatures that declare, "This is ours." A capybara group has a home range, areas they use regularly, defend actively, and they mark these areas, leaving scent on plants, on objects, on the ground. Other capybaras, passing through, smell these marks and understand. This territory is occupied. This group claims this space. Scent marking establishes boundaries without constant physical confrontation, reduces conflict, creates a chemical map that all capybaras can read. Sufficient, clear, and constant, because scent fades over time and must be refreshed regularly. Both sexes participate. Both contribute to this olfactory declaration of ownership. And these territories matter. Capybara groups defend territories from intruders. Not violently usually. Capybaras are peaceful, but firmly. When a strange capybara or a rival group enters established territory, the residents respond. They might approach, displaying. They might vocalize, making their presence known. The dominant male especially takes this role seriously, confronting intruders, sometimes escalating to chasing, occasionally to actual fighting, though usually it doesn't come to that. Most intruders, recognizing they're on claimed land, retreat. The scent marks warn them. The defensive behaviors reinforce the message. Boundaries are respected most of the time, and the resident group maintains its access to resources, to good grazing, to water, to resting spots. Territory defense ensures that each group can sustain itself, can access what it needs, without constant competition. It creates order, stability, predictability in the wetland world. Let yourself feel the boundaries of your own rest, the space you've claimed for peace, for learning, for sleep. This time is yours. This moment belongs to you. Nothing intrudes here. Nothing threatens this peace. You've defended this space, this time, by choosing it, by being here, and now you can enjoy it fully, completely, without any need to maintain vigilance. The boundaries hold, the peace remains, you are safe, you are resting, you are exactly where you should be. Scent marking itself reveals social structure. It's linked to social rank, with more dominant animals marking more frequently than subordinates. The dominant male, the group's leader, marks constantly, every day, multiple times, reinforcing his status, his claim, his presence. Subordinate males mark less, acknowledging their lower rank through this chemical restraint. Females also mark according to their position in the female hierarchy. The scent marks thus do double duty. They mark territory against outsiders, but they also communicate hierarchy within the group. Who marks where, how often, with what intensity. All of this conveys information. It's a language of chemistry, of glandular secretions, read through the nose, understood instinctively, and it maintains order, reduces conflict, makes everyone's status clear without constant confrontation. The most dominant mark the most, asserting their position, and others acknowledge it, respect it, in the frequency and placement of their own marks. Male capybaras have a particularly distinctive marking tool. On top of their snout, raised and obvious, sits a large scent gland called a murillo. This naked, dark, oval-shaped bump is more prominent in dominant males, swelling with their status. They use it deliberately, purposefully, rubbing it on plants, on objects, leaving their scent. You can watch a male capybara approach a tall grass stem, a small tree, a fence post if in captivity, and methodically rub his murillo against it, back and forth, coating it with secretions, marking it with his identity. The murillo's scent tells other capybaras, "I was here, I am dominant, I claim this space." It's a badge of rank and a marking tool combined, visible evidence of maleness and status, carried on the face, used constantly. In subordinate males, the murillo is smaller, less prominent. In females, barely noticeable. But in the dominant male, it's a defining feature, impossible to miss, a declaration written in flesh and scent. Your forehead is smooth, relaxed, no tension between your brows, no furrowing, no stress. Feel the complete relaxation of your face, your jaw, your neck, like the capybara using its murillo peacefully, marking territory without aggression. You inhabit your space peacefully, restfully. There's no struggle here, no conflict, just the gentle occupation of this moment, this breath, this perfect state of rest. You're so deeply relaxed now, so far into this peaceful journey, and you're doing beautifully, perfectly, exactly right. The murillo isn't their only scent gland. Capybaras have scent glands near the anus, anal glands, that they drag over vegetation to mark important trails and resting spots. This marking behavior looks deliberate, almost comical. A capybara walks to a favorite spot, a well-used trail, a preferred basking location, and drags its rear over the grass, over the ground, depositing scent from those anal glands. It's a different scent than the murillo's secretion, serving similar but distinct purposes. These marks say, "We rest here, we travel here, this is important to us." They're waypoints, signposts, reminders to the group and warnings to outsiders. High-traffic areas receive frequent marking, becoming strongly scented, clearly claimed. These marks fade more slowly than the murillo marks, perhaps, or they're refreshed by multiple group members, creating layered scents, group signatures rather than individual ones. Together, the murillo and anal glands provide a complete marking system, facial and rear, individual and communal, mapping the capybara's world in scent. But despite all this territory marking and defense, Capybaras can be surprisingly tolerant. When different family groups meet in the wild, they sometimes allow quick, unchallenged passage through their area if the others are simply moving to a distant water or feeding site. Not every encounter becomes a confrontation. If a foreign group is clearly just passing through, heading to their own territory, the residents might watch, might display mildly, but ultimately allow passage. It's pragmatic, efficient, reducing unnecessary conflict. Why fight if the intruders aren't staying? Why waste energy on a territorial dispute if the boundary violation is temporary and harmless? Capybaras seem to assess intent, to distinguish between serious incursion and innocent transit. And often, they choose tolerance. This flexibility, this capacity for peaceful coexistence, speaks to their social intelligence, their ability to make nuanced decisions. They're not rigidly territorial, not blindly aggressive. They're thoughtful in their own capybara way, choosing when to enforce boundaries and when to let things slide. Let's gather these facts about communication and territory softly now. Capybaras speak in barks, purrs, whistles, squeals, grunts, teeth chattering, each sound meaningful. Teeth chattering signals contentment in social moments. Contact calls maintain group cohesion. Alarm barks warn of danger. They mark territory with scent. Both males and females, defending their home ranges from intruders. Dominant animals mark more frequently, asserting rank through scent. Males use the murillo on their snout. Both sexes use anal glands, marking trails and resting spots. Yet, despite territorial defense, they can allow peaceful passage to groups simply moving through. The capybara emerges as communicative, territorial, yet flexible, capable of both defense and tolerance, both assertion and peace. Rest now in this knowledge, in this understanding of their complex social world. Let these facts settle, like scent on grass, marking this moment, this learning, this deep, deep rest. Breathe, release, drift away. Your body is so profoundly relaxed now, so deeply at peace. Each breath carries you further into this tranquil state. We explore now the rhythms of the capybara's day, their dance with danger, their place in the great web of life. Capybaras are most active during dawn and dusk, what scientists call crepuscular, the early morning, when darkness softens to gray, then pink, then gold. This is capybara time. They emerge from their night's rest, still alert but hungry, and begin to graze. The world is cool, quiet, predators often less active. They feed peacefully as the sun rises. Then, as day progresses, as heat builds, they retreat to water, to shade, to rest. They doze through the bright midday hours, conserving energy, staying cool. And then, as afternoon fades toward evening, As the sun descends and temperatures moderate, they stir again. Dusk, that magical transitional time, they graze once more, taking advantage of cooler air, softer light. This crepuscular rhythm serves them well, avoiding the heat of day, avoiding the deep darkness of night when some predators hunt most effectively. Dawn and dusk, the in-between times, the threshold hours, these belong to the capybara. But this pattern is flexible, adaptive. In areas with fewer threats, where predators are scarce or absent, capybaras may be active during the day as well. If they feel safe, if the risk is low, why restrict themselves to dawn and dusk? They might graze mid-morning, early afternoon, whenever hunger calls and safety permits. Perhaps in a well-protected ranch, in a nature reserve, in an area where jaguars have been eliminated. Their capybaras adjust, become more diurnal, spread their activity across more hours. They're not rigidly programmed, not locked into crepuscular behavior. They're responsive, reading their environment, adjusting their patterns to match the level of threat. When safe, they relax their vigilance, expand their active hours. When threatened, they compress activity into the safest times, always adapting, always responding, always seeking the balance between feeding and surviving. You're doing so beautifully, flowing through these facts like water, absorbing them effortlessly. Your breathing is so slow, so peaceful, each inhale bringing calm, each exhale releasing any remaining tension. You've adapted to, adjusted to this restful state, found your own perfect rhythm of listening and drifting. There's no effort here, no strain, just this gentle continuation, this peaceful flow. You're exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you need to do, which is nothing but rest. Human activity can reshape their rhythms entirely. In some regions, capybaras shift their behavior to become more nocturnal in areas with high human disturbance or hunting pressure. Where once they grazed at dawn and dusk, now they graze at midnight, at 2 in the morning, at 4. They've learned, or perhaps some survived and others didn't, teaching the population through natural selection that night is safer. Humans hunt during the day. Humans disturb during the day. So, shift to darkness. This harder night grazing means poorer visibility, more difficulty selecting the best plants, but it's safer. And safety ultimately matters more than convenience. In these heavily pressured areas, the capybara becomes a creature of darkness, eyes and ears straining, navigating their world by starlight and moonlight, by memory and smell. It's not their preference, perhaps, but it's their adaptation, their survival strategy in a human-altered world. They shift their entire circadian rhythm, reorganize their lives, and carry on. Resilient, flexible, persistent. The seasons bring their own challenges and adaptations. In areas with seasonal flooding, capybaras may move to small islands or raised ground during high water, then spread out again when water levels drop. The wet season arrives. Rains fall, rivers overflow their banks, and the landscape transforms into a vast shallow lake. The capybaras, so comfortable in water, nonetheless need solid ground, need places to rest, to escape from aquatic predators like caiman. So they move, congregate on whatever high ground remains. Small islands, tree-covered mounds, raised areas that stay above the flood. They wait. Multiple groups might share these refuges, crowded, tolerating proximity because there's no alternative. They graze on whatever vegetation the island offers, swim to other patches of high ground if needed, and they wait for the water to recede. Eventually, it does. The dry season returns, water levels drop, land reemerges, and the capybaras spread out again, returning to their preferred territories, their familiar ranges, dispersing from their cramped wet season refuges into the abundant dry season grasslands, following the water, adapting to its rhythms, neither fully aquatic nor fully terrestrial, always adjusting to the changing boundary between the two. When danger presents itself, when threat becomes immediate, capybaras have clear responses. If danger continues, they often run away or jump into water. First response: freeze, assess. If the threat persists, if the predator approaches, action. They run, those short legs pumping surprisingly fast, heading toward their sanctuary. Water, always water. They reach the bank, the shore, the edge, and they don't hesitate. They jump in, splash, submerge, disappear beneath the surface. The predator, if it's a land-based cat, usually stops at the water's edge. The capybara swims away underwater, surfaces far from shore, safe. Or they might stay submerged, waiting, letting 5 minutes pass if necessary, outlasting the predator's patience. Water is their escape route, their safe house, their refuge from almost every threat. They use mud and water not just for cooling, not just for comfort, but as a way to escape predators, slipping in quickly, swimming away, leaving danger behind on the shore. Feel how completely safe you are, how far removed from any danger, any threat. Like the capybara reaching water, you've reached this safe space, this protected moment. Nothing can disturb you here. Nothing threatens your peace. You're submerged in rest, in safety, in complete and total relaxation. Your body knows this. Your nervous system recognizes safety and releases everything. So deeply peaceful now, so perfectly at rest. You're doing wonderfully, just drifting, just floating, just being. But not all predators are deterred by water. Capybaras face multiple threats. Their main natural predators include jaguars, pumas, ocelots, caimans, large snakes like anacondas, and sometimes eagles that target young animals. The jaguar, powerful, skilled swimmer, can follow capybaras into water, though capybaras are often faster swimmers. Pumas hunt them on land, stalking through grasslands, ambushing at water's edge. Ocelots, smaller, might take young capybaras, pups separated from the group. Caimans, the crocodilian predators of South America, lurk in the very water that capybaras use for escape, creating a terrible dilemma: flee into water to escape the jaguar, or stay on land to avoid the caiman. Anacondas, massive constrictors, can take adult capybaras, wrapping around them in water or on land, squeezing, suffocating. And eagles, harpy eagles especially, can snatch pups, lifting them from the ground in powerful talons. The capybara lives surrounded by danger, by predators adapted to hunt them specifically, by threats in every direction. Yet they persist, they thrive through vigilance, through group living, through their adaptations and instincts. They play an important role in this deadly dance. Capybaras are crucial in the food chain as prey for larger predators. Without capybaras, jaguars would have less food, might decline, might shift territories. Caimans depend partly on capybaras, especially the abundant young ones. The entire ecosystem is calibrated around the capybara's presence, their abundance, their availability as prey. They convert grass, simple vegetation, into protein, into meat, into food that predators can use. Their energy transfer, middle links in the food chain, connecting plants to top predators. Their role as prey is not a failure, not a flaw, but an essential ecological function. They are food, yes, but in being food, they sustain the predators that make the ecosystem complete. The jaguar's beauty, the caiman's power, the anaconda's magnificence, all depend partly on the capybara's availability, and the capybaras, through numbers, through reproduction, through their adaptations, ensure that some are caught while many escape, that the predators are fed while the population persists. Balance, ancient and ongoing, written in pursuit and escape, in death and survival. Let yourself sink even deeper. There's no danger in this sinking, no threat in this letting go. You're safe, so safe, and you can release control completely. The capybara's world has danger, but your world right now is only peace, only rest, only this gentle drift toward sleep. Your eyelids are so heavy, or already closed. Your breathing so slow, your body so completely relaxed. Perfect. You're perfect, just as you are, resting, learning, drifting. Time passes differently for capybaras than for us. In the wild, they typically live around 6 to 10 years. 6 years, 10 years, depending on conditions, on predation, on disease, on luck. It sounds short to us, to humans who expect decades. But for a capybara, 6 years might mean multiple breeding seasons, dozens of offspring, a complete life. Born, raised, matured, reproduced, aged, died, all within a decade or less. They don't count years, don't measure life in numbers. They live each day, each dawn, each dusk, fully. And some, the lucky ones, the dominant males who avoid predators, the females in protected territories, might reach that upper end, 10 years, perhaps even a bit more. Long lives for capybaras, filled with seasons, with floods and dry times, with pups raised and dangers avoided. But most live shorter spans, taken by predators, by illness, by the countless risks of wild existence. In human care, the story changes. Protected from predators, given steady food, provided veterinary care, capybaras often live longer. 12 years, 15, sometimes more. The oldest recorded capybaras in captivity have reached their late teens, ancient by capybara standards. Without jaguars hunting them, without droughts starving them, without caimans lurking, they can live out their potential lifespan. The years their bodies are capable of given ideal conditions. This difference, wild versus captive lifespan, highlights the constant pressure of wild existence, the toll that predation and environmental stress exact. Every year survived in the wild is an achievement, a victory over odds. Those 10-year-old wild capybaras, if such exist, are survivors, paragons, individuals who've beaten the statistics through some combination of skill and fortune. Actually, refining that slightly, in the wild, their typical lifespan is around 8 to 10 years, slightly on the higher end of what many basic overviews mention. 8 to 10. That's the norm for those who survive to adulthood, who make it past the vulnerable pup stage. Many die younger, predated, but those who reach maturity and establish themselves in a group, 8 to 10 years is a reasonable expectation. Not guaranteed, never guaranteed, but typical. A decade of wetland life, of grazing and swimming, of social bonding and reproduction. A complete capybara existence, compressed into less time than we spend in elementary and middle school, yet full, complete, sufficient. They don't need our decades. They live. Capybara lives at capybara speed, and 8 to 10 years is enough to matter, enough to contribute, enough to pass on their genes and their presence to the next generation. Your own life, whatever its length, is unfolding perfectly. Right now, in this moment, you're using your time beautifully, resting, restoring, learning gently. There's no rush, no deadline, no pressure to be anywhere but here. Like the capybara living its 8 or 10 years fully. You're living this moment fully, completely present in this rest, this peace. Your breathing is so gentle, so soft, barely there. You're drifting so deeply now, so peacefully. Everything is exactly as it should be. From a conservation perspective, there's good news. Capybaras are classified by conservation organizations as of least concern, meaning their global wild population is currently considered stable. They're not endangered, not threatened, not vulnerable. They're okay, thriving even. Their adaptability serves them well. Their ability to live in modified landscapes, to coexist with ranching, to persist despite hunting pressure in some areas. Their high reproductive rate, multiple pups per litter, helps populations recover from losses. And their range is vast, spanning most of South America, providing resilience through sheer geographic distribution. Least concern, the best category on the conservation scale, the one that means we're not worried about this species right now. It's a relief, a bright spot in a world where so many species struggle. The capybara, ancient, specialized, yet flexible enough to persist, stable enough to thrive, common enough to be secure. May they remain so, these gentle giants, these peaceful grazers, these essential threads in South America's ecological tapestry. Let's gather these facts about time and survival. Capybaras are crepuscular, most active at dawn and dusk, though they adapt to be diurnal when safe or nocturnal when threatened. They move with seasonal floods, seeking high ground when waters rise. When danger threatens, they run to water, using it to escape predators. Those predators are many: jaguars, pumas, ocelots, caimans, anacondas, eagles hunting pups. Capybaras play a vital role as prey, sustaining larger predators, linking plants to carnivores in the food chain. They live 8 to 10 years typically in the wild, longer in captivity, and their populations are stable, classified as least concern, thriving across their vast South American range. The capybara, successful, persistent, adapted to survive in a world of constant threat, yet somehow maintaining peace, maintaining gentleness, maintaining their essential nature despite the pressures they face. Rest now in this knowledge, in this celebration of their success, their survival, their continued presence in the world. Breathe slowly, sink deeply, let yourself drift away completely. You're so deeply relaxed now, floating in this peaceful space between waking and dreaming. Your body has surrendered completely to rest. Let's explore the capybara's gentle nature, their relationships, their growing role in our human awareness. Capybaras are known for their calm behavior, often appearing relaxed around other animals. There's something almost zen about them, a peaceful acceptance, an absence of aggression that other creatures seem to recognize and respect. Watch a capybara resting, and you might see birds nearby, unconcerned. Small mammals passing close without fear. Even other large animals, horses, cattle, seem comfortable in their presence. The capybara doesn't threaten, doesn't chase, doesn't compete unnecessarily. They simply exist peacefully, calmly, radiating an energy that speaks of non-aggression. Perhaps it's their herbivorous nature, no predatory instinct to trigger fear. Perhaps it's their social lifestyle, adapted to live peacefully in groups, that calm extending outward to other species. Whatever the reason, capybaras move through their world with remarkable serenity, a gentleness that other animals perceive and respond to. In a world of constant vigilance, constant threat, the capybara somehow maintains tranquility, and that tranquility is contagious. This tolerance extends to remarkable interspecies relationships. Because they are so accepting of other animals, capybaras often form loose associations with birds that ride on their backs to eat parasites and insects. Picture this: a capybara resting in shallow water, or lying on a sunny bank, and on its broad back, a bird, perhaps a cattle egret, or a caracara, or one of several other species. The bird walks along the capybara's spine, pecks at its fur, plucks insects, removes ticks. The capybara, completely unbothered, allows this, doesn't flinch, doesn't shake the bird off, simply accepts the grooming. It's mutually beneficial. The bird gets food, the capybara gets parasite removal, but it requires trust, tolerance, that remarkable calm. Some photos show multiple birds on a single capybara, or a bird perched on a capybara's head, riding along as the capybara grazes. These images have become iconic symbols of the capybara's gentle nature, their acceptance, their peaceful coexistence with other species. The capybara as platform, as mobile restaurant, as willing participant in nature's cleaning service. You're absorbing this beautiful information so effortlessly, like the capybara accepting the birds on its back. You're accepting this rest, this peace, this gentle flow of knowledge. There's no resistance in you, no tension, no fighting against relaxation. You've surrendered to this moment completely, and it's beautiful. Your breathing is barely perceptible now, so soft, so slow, so peaceful. You're doing wonderfully, perfectly, exactly right. Just continue floating, continue drifting, continue resting in this deep, deep peace. Capybaras are not simple creatures, not mere stimulus response machines. Observers often describe them as emotionally responsive, reacting noticeably to the behavior of familiar group members and caregivers. They recognize individuals, Remember, relationships respond differently to different capybaras. A mother responds to her pup's chirp immediately, specifically. Group members react to the dominant male's movements, his moods, his signals. In captivity, capybaras learn their keepers, distinguish between the familiar human who feeds them and an unfamiliar visitor. They might approach one eagerly, retreat from another warily. They show what appears to be affection, nuzzling familiar individuals, seeking proximity. They show what might be grief, becoming subdued when a group member dies. They show excitement, vocalizing eagerly at feeding time. Joy, playing in water with obvious enthusiasm. These aren't anthropomorphic projections, but observable behaviors that suggest inner experience, emotional depth, a rich interior life. The capybara feels, responds, experiences their world not just physically but emotionally. Individual differences emerge clearly in captivity. Capybaras often show distinct individual personalities. Some are bolder and more exploratory, while others are more cautious and prefer to stay near familiar companions. Just like people, just like dogs, just like most social animals, each capybara is unique. One might be the first to investigate a new object, to try a new food, to approach a stranger. Bold, curious, adventurous. Another might hang back, watch from safety, wait until others have tested before trying. Cautious, careful, conservative. Some are more social, constantly seeking interaction. Others more solitary within the group, participating but at the edges. Some are playful throughout their lives. Others become serious, reserved. These personalities are consistent, recognizable, real. Keepers learn them, name individuals not just for identification but because the names fit, capture something essential. Rocky, the bold one. Daisy, the gentle one. Each capybara, an individual, a personality, a unique expression of capybaraness. They're not interchangeable, not identical, but varied, diverse, individual. Feel how completely you've let go, how deeply you trust this moment. Like the cautious capybara trusting its group, you're trusting this process, this rest, this gentle drift towards sleep. There's no need to be bold or cautious here. No need to explore or retreat. Just need to rest. And you're doing that beautifully. Your body is so heavy, so relaxed, every muscle soft, every joint loose. You're exactly where you should be, doing exactly what you need to do. Perfect, so perfect. This deep rest, this peaceful learning. Physically, capybaras are tougher than they might appear. They have notably thick, tough skin that helps protect them from minor injuries and harsh vegetation in their wetland habitats. Their skin, beneath that coarse fur, is surprisingly resilient. Thorns, sharp grasses, rough branches. The capybara pushes through vegetation that would scratch and tear more delicate skin. They wade through areas with sharp reeds, rest in areas with rough ground, and their skin protects them. This toughness also provides some defense against predators. Not enough to stop a jaguar's bite, certainly, but enough to prevent minor wounds from becoming serious. Enough to resist insect bites, to tolerate the constant abrasion of their semi-aquatic lifestyle. Thick skin, practical adaptation, unseen but essential, allowing them to inhabit environments that would be harsh for thin-skinned creatures. They're gentle in temperament, but tough in constitution, soft in behavior, but durable in body. Their coloring is subtle, beautiful in its earthiness. Capybara fur often has a reddish-brown hue on the upper body that can fade to a more yellowish or grayish tone along the sides. Imagine this gradation, darker on top, where sun strikes, lighter on the sides, palest on the belly. This counter-shading provides camouflage, makes them less visible to predators. The dark top blending with the ground when viewed from above, the light belly reducing shadow when viewed from below. But it's also simply lovely, earthy tones. The colors of their habitat, browns and tans and grays, the palette of wetlands, of mud and dry grass, of sun-baked earth. Each individual varies slightly, some more reddish, some more brownish, some grayer. The fur can look different when wet, darker, then lightening as it dries. In certain light, at dawn or dusk, the reddish tones glow warmly. The capybara, colored by its world, wearing the hues of home. Your own body is perfect as it is, colored and shaped exactly right for your life, for your journey. Like the capybara's protective skin and camouflage coloring, you have exactly what you need. Rest in that knowledge. Rest in acceptance of yourself, of this moment, of this deep peace. Your breathing continues, so slow, so gentle, automatic, perfect. You don't have to think about it. Don't have to manage anything. Just drift, just float, just be. The capybara shapes its landscape in unexpected ways. In some river systems, the paths capybaras create between water and grazing areas become mini corridors that help spread wetland plants and invertebrates inland. Their daily movements, from water to grass, from grass to water, following the same routes repeatedly, create visible trails. And these trails become more than just bare earth. Seeds carried on their fur, in their feces, along these paths, germinate. Plants colonize the corridors. Invertebrates, insects, small creatures use these pathways, travel along them, disperse through them. What began as simply the most efficient route for a capybara becomes a linear habitat, a connection between ecosystems, a corridor for biodiversity. The capybara, unknowingly, creates infrastructure for entire communities of organisms. Their footpaths become wildlife highways. Their trails become green corridors. Engineers again, not through intention but through the accumulated effect of daily behavior, walking the same routes, year after year, generation after generation, reshaping the landscape, creating pathways of life. Humans are increasingly recognizing the capybara's value beyond ecology. Educational and ecotourism programs increasingly feature capybaras as flagship species to draw attention to the importance of conserving South American wetlands. A flagship species, a charismatic representative, an animal that captures imagination and affection, drawing attention to broader conservation needs. People might not initially care about wetlands, about complex ecosystems, about hydrological cycles, but they care about capybaras. They think capybaras are cute, interesting, endearing. So programs use capybaras as the entry point. Come see capybaras, and while you're here, learn about wetlands, learn about the interconnected species, learn about threats and conservation needs. The capybara becomes ambassador, representative, the face of wetland conservation. Ecotourists travel to see them, supporting local economies, creating financial incentive for conservation. Educational programs feature them, teaching children, teaching adults, and through the capybara, people connect to larger truths, to ecosystem health, to conservation necessity. The capybara's appeal, their gentle nature, their photogenic quality, becomes a tool for protecting the wetlands they inhabit. You're learning even as you drift towards sleep, absorbing these final facts effortlessly. The capybara as teacher, as ambassador, sharing their world with us, and you're receiving that gift so peacefully. Your mind is quiet, your body completely at rest. You've traveled through nearly 90 facts about these remarkable animals, and you've done it with such grace, such peace. You should feel wonderfully accomplished, wonderfully restful. This time has been beautifully spent, and now, sleep beckons closer with each breath. This ambassadorial role has been amplified by modern media. Because of their calm demeanor and popularity, online capybaras are increasingly featured as ambassadors for wetland conservation and biodiversity in education campaigns. The internet loves capybaras. Videos of them sitting peacefully, interacting with other animals, lounging in hot springs in Japan. These go viral. Millions of views, millions of people, many who've never heard of capybaras, suddenly enchanted, and conservation organizations leverage this. Social media campaigns featuring capybaras, drawing eyes, then educating. You love this calm capybara? Here's what it needs to survive. Here's the wetland habitat we must protect. Here's how you can help. The capybara's online fame, their status as internet darlings, becomes a platform for conservation messaging. Their calm demeanor, so appealing, so soothing, makes them perfect for this role. Non-threatening, peaceful, approachable. People don't fear them. People want to protect them. And in protecting capybaras, we protect ecosystems. The capybara, humble grazer, becomes an unlikely conservation icon, a symbol of wetlands, a bridge between human affection and ecological necessity. Let's gather these final facts softly, gently. Capybaras are known for remarkable calm, tolerance of other animals, forming relationships with birds that groom them. They're emotionally responsive, showing individual personalities, some bold, some cautious, all unique. Their skin is thick and protective, their fur colored in earthy tones, reddish-brown fading to yellows and grays. They create pathways that become corridors for biodiversity, spreading plants and invertebrates. And increasingly, they serve as flagship species, ambassadors for wetland conservation. Their popularity online and in ecotourism drawing attention to broader ecological needs. The capybara, gentle, calm, peaceful, beloved, emerges as more than just an animal, but as a teacher, a symbol, a bridge between species, between humans and nature, between affection and conservation. Rest now, completely, deeply. You've learned so much about these remarkable creatures, about their lives, their adaptations, their world. Let it all settle, like sediment in still water, finding its place in your memory, your understanding, your dreams. Breathe, release, drift away into peaceful sleep. Throughout history, humans and capybaras have had complex relationships. In some regions, people historically hunted capybaras for meat and hide, and in certain places they are still used as a traditional food source. This might feel uncomfortable to hear after learning so much about these gentle creatures, but it's part of their story. For indigenous peoples, for rural communities, the capybara has long been a resource. Their meat, protein-rich, feeding families. Their hide, thick and durable, used for leather goods. In some areas of Venezuela, of Brazil, capybara ranching exists, sustainable harvest, providing livelihood while maintaining populations. It's a different relationship than the one we've been exploring, not about observation or appreciation, but about subsistence, about survival. The capybara, in their abundance, can sustain some level of harvest. And for communities living in their range, this relationship is ancient, traditional, part of the cultural and culinary landscape. We don't have to celebrate it, but we can acknowledge it, understand it as part of the complex web of human-animal relationships. There's even a curious religious dimension to this. In parts of South America with strong Catholic traditions, There's a fascinating historical classification. Capybara meat has historically been treated as acceptable to eat during certain fasting periods, particularly Lent, when red meat is traditionally forbidden. The reasoning: because capybaras are so aquatic, they were classified by some religious authorities as something like fish, or at least not quite land animals. It's a theological flexibility, perhaps, but one that has shaped capybara consumption patterns for centuries. During Lent, when beef and pork are avoided, capybara might appear on tables. This classification speaks to the capybara's truly liminal nature. Not quite land, not quite water, semi-aquatic enough to blur categories, to fit into exceptions. It's an unexpected footnote in capybara history. This religious classification, this ecclesiastical debate about what exactly a capybara is, resolved pragmatically in favor of hungry communities during fasting seasons. You're doing so wonderfully, staying with this journey even as we explore these more complex human dimensions. Your breathing remains slow, peaceful, undisturbed. You're absorbing everything with such grace, such openness, such calm. There's no judgment needed, no anxiety, just this continued gentle learning. You're so deeply relaxed now, so far into this peaceful state. Your body is heavy, comfortable, completely at rest. Perfect. You're doing this perfectly. Just continue breathing, continue drifting, continue trusting this peaceful process. When capybaras appear outside their native range, complications can arise. Feral capybara populations outside South America have occasionally been linked to damage in irrigation canals and crops because of their burrowing paths and heavy grazing. In Florida, where small populations exist, there have been reports of canal banks weakened by capybara burrows, of crops heavily grazed. These aren't malicious acts. The capybaras are simply being capybaras, digging resting spots, eating available vegetation, following their instincts. But in non-native ecosystems, without the natural checks and balances, their behavior can cause problems. It's a reminder that even gentle animals can be disruptive when placed in wrong contexts. In their native South America, their grazing is part of the system, their paths expected, their impacts balanced by the ecosystem's adaptations. Outside that context, they can become problematic. Not pests exactly, but complications, challenges for land managers, concerns for conservationists worried about invasive species. The capybara, so successful in their home range, becomes a cautionary tale about species introduction when they appear elsewhere. But in the digital age, capybaras have found a new kind of home in our hearts and screens. Capybaras are so social and unusual looking that they have become a popular internet animal. Memes, videos, photos, capybaras are everywhere online. Their calm expression, their barrel-shaped bodies, their tendency to befriend other animals, All of this makes them perfect internet content. Capybaras in hot springs, steam rising around them, looking supremely relaxed. Capybaras with birds on their heads, unbothered. Capybaras sitting like loaves of bread, perfectly still. The internet has fallen in love, collectively, with these gentle giants. They represent something we crave: calmness, peace, acceptance, living in harmony. In a digital world often characterized by outrage and anxiety, the capybara offers something different: soothing content, peaceful images, reminder that gentleness exists. Their popularity has exploded, transcending borders, introducing people worldwide to an animal they might never encounter in person. The capybara, internet celebrity, beloved by millions for simply being themselves. Feel yourself smiling, perhaps, or at least feeling warmth, thinking about these peaceful creatures. That warmth, that gentle affection, let it spread through your body, relaxing you even further. You're so deeply at peace now, so wonderfully relaxed, like those capybaras in the hot springs. You're perfectly content, perfectly still, perfectly at rest. Your breathing is barely perceptible, so soft, so slow. You're drifting beautifully between waking and sleeping, and it doesn't matter which. Both are peaceful, both are restful, both are exactly right. You're doing beautifully, so beautifully. This popularity serves conservation in unexpected ways. Because of their relaxed image, capybaras are increasingly used in children's books and animations to represent calmness and coexistence, helping introduce young audiences to wetland conservation themes. Picture a children's book, colorful illustrations, and there's a capybara, calm, friendly, teaching about sharing space, about living peacefully with others. Or an animated show where the capybara character is the wise, peaceful one, solving conflicts through calm communication. These representations, while simplified, carry truth. The capybara really is calm, really does coexist well. And through these stories, these animations, children learn. They learn that some animals are gentle. They learn about wetlands, about South America, about ecosystems. The capybara becomes an educational tool, a character that carries conservation messages, wrapped in entertainment. Be like the capybara, the implicit message: calm, accepting, peaceful. And meanwhile, subtly, protect wetlands where capybaras live. The education happens almost unconsciously, through affection, through story, through the capybara's gentle example. But this popularity creates a problem too, because their calm reputation and online popularity can lead people to want them as pets. And welfare groups must emphasize that capybaras have complex social and environmental needs that are difficult to meet in typical households. Someone sees a video, a capybara looking adorable, thinks, "I want one." But capybaras are not pets. Not really. They're large, requiring significant space. They're social, needing other capybaras, not just human companionship. They're semi-aquatic, needing substantial water access. They're grazers, requiring large amounts of fresh vegetation daily. They can live 15 years in captivity, a long commitment, and they have specialized needs that most people cannot meet. Welfare organizations, exotic veterinarians, people who actually care for capybaras, all stress this message. Appreciate them, love them, support their conservation, but don't try to keep them as pets unless you can truly meet their complex needs. The gap between cute video and actual animal care is vast. The capybara's calm demeanor is real, but it doesn't make them suitable for typical pet ownership. They remain wild animals, complex, demanding, deserving of proper care or freedom. You're receiving this wisdom so peacefully, understanding without distress, like appreciating the capybara from respectful distance. You're appreciating this rest, this moment, without needing to possess it, to hold it too tightly, just experiencing, just being, just allowing this peaceful learning to continue. Your body is so relaxed, so heavy, so completely at ease. You've let go of everything, and in that letting go, found such peace. Beautiful. You're doing beautifully. Just a few more gentle facts, and then you can drift completely into deep, restorative sleep. For capybaras in human care, certain elements are absolutely essential. Providing pools or streams is considered essential because being denied water access can cause stress and abnormal behaviors. A capybara without water is a capybara in distress. They might pace, vocalize excessively, show stereotypic behaviors, signs of psychological suffering. Water isn't luxury for them. It's necessity core to their identity, their comfort, their well-being. Responsible facilities, zoos, sanctuaries, ensure substantial water access. Pools deep enough to submerge, large enough to swim. Ideally, flowing water, streams, ponds, places where the capybara can express natural behaviors, can float, can dive, can thermoregulate, can simply be a capybara. Without water, they're incomplete, stressed, diminished. With water, they thrive, displaying natural behaviors, maintaining psychological health. It's non-negotiable water access, the foundation of capybara welfare in captivity. Beyond water, enrichment matters too. Environmental enrichment such as puzzle feeders and varied terrain has been shown to increase exploration and reduce repetitive pacing in capybaras under human care. Enrichment, things that stimulate natural behaviors, that challenge the mind, that prevent boredom. Puzzle feeders, devices that make them work for food, mimicking the effort of grazing. Varied terrain, hills, different substrates, vegetation, creating a more complex, interesting environment than a flat pen. Novel objects, scents, sounds, changes in routine. All of this keeps capybaras engaged, curious, active. Without enrichment, even with water, captive capybaras might develop problems. Pacing, repetitive movements, signs of understimulation. But with thoughtful enrichment, they explore, investigate, display natural behaviors. They're mentally engaged, challenged appropriately, experiencing welfare beyond mere survival. Good facilities understand this, invest in enrichment, treat it as essential as food and water. The capybara, intelligent, social, deserves a rich environment, whether in the wild or in human care. Your own mind has been so beautifully enriched tonight, filled gently with facts, images, understanding. And now, it can rest. It has enough, more than enough. You can let it all settle, let it organize itself while you sleep, while you drift into dreams. Your body has been perfectly still, perfectly relaxed. You've created the ideal environment for rest, for restoration, and you can be proud of that, grateful for that. You've honored yourself, your need for peace, for learning, for gentle transition into sleep. Perfect, so perfect, what you've done here tonight. And now, we come full circle. We began this journey learning that capybaras are known for their calm behavior, often appearing relaxed around other animals. And here, at the end of 100 Facts, we return to that essential truth. The capybara, fundamentally, is peaceful, calm, relaxed. It's not just one trait among many, it's central to who they are. In a world of anxiety, of aggression, of constant vigilance, the capybara offers a different way. Calm acceptance, peaceful coexistence, relaxation even in the presence of others. We've learned so much about their bodies, their lives, their ecosystems, their relationships, but perhaps the most important lesson, the one that drew us here, that kept us listening, is this simple truth. The capybara is calm. And in learning about them, in spending this time with them, perhaps we've absorbed some of that calm ourselves. Perhaps we've remembered that peace is possible, that gentleness is strength, that relaxation, true relaxation, is natural, available, our birthright, just as it is theirs. Let's gather these final facts softly, gently. Capybaras have been hunted historically and still serve as food in some regions, even classified as acceptable during religious fasting periods. Outside their range, feral populations can cause problems, though in their native habitat, they're balanced, integrated. They've become internet celebrities, beloved worldwide, used in children's media to teach calm and conservation. This popularity makes some people want them as pets, but their needs are complex, demanding, requiring water, space, social groups. In proper captivity, water access is essential, enrichment crucial, both necessary for their well-being. And through it all, one truth remains. They are calm, relaxed, peaceful creatures of gentleness in an often harsh world. 100 facts about these remarkable animals, from their size, to their swimming, to their social bonds, to their role in ecosystems, to their place in human culture. The capybara, revealed, appreciated, understood, at least a little better than before. You've done something beautiful tonight. You've learned gently, peacefully, without strain. You've rested deeply, truly, completely. You've spent hours in the company of one of nature's gentlest creatures, and perhaps you've become a little gentler yourself, a little calmer, a little more at peace. As you drift now into sleep, into dreams, carry with you the image of a capybara, floating in warm water, eyes half closed, completely at peace. Let that be you. Let that peace fill you. Let that calm become yours. The capybara has taught us that size doesn't require aggression, that strength can be gentle, that success doesn't demand conflict, that water can be sanctuary, that family is safety, that rest is essential, that being, simply being, peacefully, calmly, is enough. May you sleep as peacefully as a capybara in still water. May you rest as deeply as a capybara in the shade. May you wake as gently as a capybara at dawn. Thank you for this time, this journey, this peaceful exploration. Breathe deeply, let go completely, and drift away into the gentle darkness of perfect sleep. Good night, and may you dream of peaceful wetlands, of gentle giants, of calm, calm, calm.